Hello and welcome to another edition of Market Briefing. I'm Martin Bakkerdax, European business editor here at the IB Times UK. Interesting day across European markets. They're not moving a whole lot. It has to be said. We're seeing modest gains across the major indices, but really what we're waiting for are two key central bank decisions from the Bank of England and the European Central Bank. Now, neither is expected to do anything terribly surprising. It's really going to be the statements that surround the decisions that investors are looking for. Ultimately, here in the United Kingdom, we want to know if there's any plans to increase the program of quantitative easing. It's sitting at about £375 billion right now. We don't anticipate it will get increased, but there are calls for it, even though some suggest it's having diminishing returns. At the ECB in Frankfurt today, we might want to understand exactly how or if the central bank is going to try to control the recent spike in the euro. That's, of course, blunting exports, particularly for Germany, but also for some of the peripheral economies, which certainly need the help because the whole of the eurozone is likely to contract this year. Both of those decisions, though, are likely to be overshadowed by events that parallel it. With respect to the ECB, President Mario Draghi is likely to face some embarrassing questions about his role as the head of the Bank of Italy when it is alleged several billion euros in derivatives losses were hidden by one of its banks, Monte dei Paschi, it's the oldest lender in Italy, as it tried to negotiate some state aid. This will be the first public comments by Mr. Draghi, and it will be interesting to see what he has to say about developments there. With respect to the Bank of England, that may get overshadowed by the first public testimony from incoming Governor Mark Carney. He'll be the first foreign man to run the central bank in nearly 400 years, which is amazing enough in itself, but he's going to tell parliamentarians today about some of his plans for monetary policy strategy going forward when he takes the helm at Threadneedle Street later this year. A couple of other stories that are worth mentioning on the IB Times economy page are Vodafone. The shares are up a little bit, even though their revenues took a battering in their fiscal third quarter. They are holding on to their full-year profit guidance. Shares popped a little bit more than 1% as a result. Another one we're looking at is Alcatel over in France. After 4.5 years, Ben Verweyen is out as CEO. He has really overseen a very, very difficult job indeed for a company that has posted effectively 1/4 of profit in that 5-year period, and he has overseen a decline of around 70% from the share price. Investors had enough. Ben Verweyen is out, and the shares actually rose more than 8% today after the news. We'll keep an eye on all those stories and many others, please. So do visit us on the IB Times economy page. We'll see you tomorrow.